You think you know celebrity deaths? Think again. In this candid exploration, we dive into some of the weirdest and most bizarre celebrity deaths throughout history that you've probably never heard of. From untimely demises to downright strange circumstances, these stories will leave you both shocked and intrigued. Join us as we uncover the oddities that surround the lives and deaths of some of the most famous figures through history. So sit back, relax, and get ready to uncover the secrets that the mainstream news didn't want you to know. When it comes to celebrity deaths, some stories are downright bizarre, and Jack Daniels is definitely one of the weirdest you've probably never heard of. Yes, that Jack Daniel, the founder of the iconic whiskey brand. You'd think a man behind such a legendary drink would have a grand exit. But instead, he met his end in a rather unfortunate and odd manner. Picture this. Jack was trying to access his safe, but couldn't remember the combination. Frustrated, he kicked it. Yes, he literally kicked his safe. But instead of just bruising his foot or letting out a good curse word, he ended up with blood poisoning from the injury. It's strange to think that something as mundane as forgetting a combination could lead to such a tragic fate. This tale serves as a reminder that even the most celebrated figures can have their lives cut short in unexpected ways. So next time you raise a glass of Old No. 7, remember Jack Daniel not just for his whiskey, but also for one of those mysterious celebrity deaths that leaves you shaking your head in disbelief. Now, before moving on, I just wanted to say, please remember that these individuals were more than just their unusual deaths. They were talented artists, athletes, and personalities who left behind a legacy of work and contributions to their respective fields. Now on with the video. When it comes to weird celebrity deaths you've never heard of, Tennessee Williams certainly takes the cake. This iconic American playwright, known for masterpieces like The Glass Menagerie, A Streetcar Named Desire, and Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, had a life as dramatic as his works. But his passing in 1983 was nothing short of bizarre. At the age of 71, Williams met an untimely end after accidentally inhaling the plastic cap of an eye drop bottle and suffocated. Picture this, a literary genius, surrounded by his thoughts and perhaps a few too many drinks, succumbing to such an odd mishap while in an alcohol-fueled haze. It's one of those mysterious celebrity deaths that leaves you scratching your head. How does someone so talented and revered leave this world in such a peculiar way? It's almost surreal to think that one moment he was crafting poignant dialogue, and the next, he was caught up in something so trivial yet tragic. Williams's death serves as a stark reminder that even our most beloved figures can have their lives cut short by the strangest circumstances, making us wonder what other weird celebrity deaths are lurking just beneath the surface of history's more well-known tales. Well, you're about to find out. When we think of celebrity deaths, we often picture tragic overdoses or car accidents. But let's dive into the bizarre and lesser-known stories that leave us scratching our heads. One such tale is that of Francereicht, the Austrian tailor famously known as the Flying Tailor. This guy took going out with a bang to a whole new level. In 1912, Reichelt was convinced his parachute design would revolutionize aviation safety. So what did he do? He decided to test it by jumping off none other than the Eiffel Tower. Talk about confidence, or maybe just a touch of madness. As he plummeted to the ground, his parachute failed spectacularly, leading to one of the most mysterious celebrity deaths you've probably never heard of. The footage from that day is both haunting and fascinating. It captures not only Reichelt's daring spirit, but also serves as a reminder of how some dreams can turn deadly. His story stands out among other unsolved celebrity deaths for its sheer audacity and tragic outcome, making it one of those weird celebrity deaths you've never heard of, but will definitely remember. When we think of celebrity deaths, We often envision dramatic finales worthy of a Hollywood script. But sometimes, the truth is stranger than fiction. Take Attila the Hun, for instance. This guy was no ordinary leader. He commanded a massive tribal empire and was notorious for sacking the Eastern Roman Empire and invading numerous Western territories. You'd expect such a fierce warrior to meet his end in battle, right? Wrong. In 453 AD, after tying the knot with his new bride, talk about a wedding night, Attila celebrated in true warrior fashion by throwing back some drinks. However, amidst the revelry, he experienced a nosebleed that would ultimately seal his fate. In what can only be described as an unfortunate series of events fueled by booze and bad luck, he choked on his own blood and met his end right there in his tent. So there you have it. One of history's most feared conquerors went out not with a bang but with a nosebleed. It's definitely one of those weird celebrity deaths you've probably never heard of before, and it certainly puts our own party mishaps into perspective. By now you should know that celebrity deaths are much more than tragic accidents or health issues that make headlines. We're trying to cover some weird celebrity deaths you've never heard. One such bizarre case is that of Sherwood Anderson, a celebrated American short story writer and novelist who made waves in the literary scene from the 1920s to the 1940s. Picture this. It's 1941, and Anderson is enjoying a relaxing cruise at the age of 64. He's sipping on a martini. Sounds like a classic way to unwind, right? Well, things took a strange turn when he accidentally swallowed a toothpick while indulging in his drink. Yes, you heard that correctly. This seemingly innocent mishap led to catastrophic consequences as the toothpick wreaked havoc on his internal organs and ultimately led to his untimely demise. Anderson's death serves as a reminder that life can be unexpectedly fragile and downright weird. It's not every day you hear about someone meeting their end due to something as mundane as a toothpick. In our quest for mysterious celebrity deaths, stories like Anderson's remind us just how unpredictable life and death can be. When it comes to weird celebrity deaths you've never heard of, William Henry Harrison is another you may not know. This guy was a war hero from the War of 1812 who went on to become the 9th President of the United States. But his presidency is infamous for a rather bizarre twist. He died after catching a cold during his inauguration speech. Yep, you heard that right. Harrison stood out in the rain for 2 hours without an overcoat or hat, and what followed was nothing short of tragicomic. After battling this cold for 3 weeks, his team of presidential doctors resorted to some truly questionable treatments. Think opium, castor oil, leeches, and even Virginia snakeweed. Spoiler alert, none of these did him any favors and only sent him spiraling into delirium. Just 1 month into his presidency, he passed away, making him not only the first president to die in office, but also the one with the shortest term ever served. Talk about a strange chapter in history. Harrison's death reminds us that sometimes reality can be stranger than fiction, especially when it comes to famous deaths that leave us scratching our heads in disbelief. Thankfully, our health system has come a long way since then. When we think of celebrity deaths, we often recall the tragic and high-profile losses that dominate the headlines. However, there are some weird celebrity deaths you've never heard of that raise eyebrows and spark curiosity. One such case is that of Pat Tillman, a name you might recognize from the NFL, but whose story takes a shocking turn. For 4 seasons, Tillman was a solid and reliable defensive back for the Arizona Cardinals. He was living the dream as a professional athlete when everything changed on September 11, 2001. In the aftermath of those horrific terrorist attacks, Tillman felt an overwhelming sense of duty and patriotism. He made an extraordinary decision to leave behind his lucrative football career to join the Army alongside his brother Kevin, who also set aside a promising baseball contract to enlist. Together, they became Army Rangers after completing one of the most elite military training programs in existence. Tillman's journey transformed him into an icon of selflessness and American pride. But just 2 years later, at only 27 years old, he met an untimely end while serving in Afghanistan. Initially reported as combat-related death due to enemy fire, it wasn't until years later that shocking details emerged. Pat Tillman was not killed by enemy action, but rather by friendly fire during a chaotic engagement with his own troops. This revelation turned what could have been merely another tragic celebrity death into one steeped in mystery and controversy. A reminder that even those who seem larger than life can have their stories marred by unexpected twists. Pat Tillman's legacy continues to inspire discussions about heroism and sacrifice, while serving as a poignant example among the many mysterious celebrity deaths throughout history that deserve our attention.